This is Living Healthy with Your Health Potential, where we explore your options for better health. Brought to you in association with The Woman in You.
Hi, welcome to Living Healthy. I'm your host, Sheryl Worthington Turgeon. The white lions of Timbavati in South Africa are on the brink of extinction. Today's guest is Linda Tucker, who has been working tirelessly after receiving a spiritual calling that inspired her to help save the white lions. Known as the kings of the animal kingdom, white lions are revered for their spiritual purity. Linda was born in South Africa. She left a high-profile modeling and marketing career in London to return to her roots, where she's now on a global mission to save the magnificent white lions. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you.
So you recently wrote a book about the white lions, and that's called Save the White Lions?
Yes, that's right. I first wrote a book about 14 years ago called Mystery of the White Lions, and then recently Saving the White Lions, which tells the story of my decades-long efforts to protect the most sacred animals on the African continent.
And can you tell us what inspired you to really basically change your entire life and begin this mission?
Well, it was truly, as you say, a life-changing experience. Actually, it was a life-threatening experience. It's, if you think about it, it's like your worst possible nightmare. I was trapped in the middle of a pride of lions, in the middle of the African bushveld, at night with no escape. 24 lions in that pride. And I was rescued by an indigenous medicine woman from the Tsonga people of that region. She came walking through the bushveld on foot at night with a little baby strapped to her back and a little boy in front of her, and they walked straight through the pride of lions, and she came to my rescue. And
that's amazing.
It's the most astonishing story. From her, I discovered that the lions can inspire certain people to be lion-like, to be brave and true and courageous. Now, I went back to my life in advertising and got on with marketing and branding and messing with people's minds and getting them to buy products they didn't want. I mean, that's what marketing's all about. But I couldn't forget this experience that had happened in the African bushveld. So 3 years later, the year was 1994, the year Nelson Mandela was finally released. I returned to South Africa and I tracked down this woman who had saved my life. And the first question I asked her is, why did you do what you did? And she said to me, there was no danger. When you love nature and you respect nature, there is no threat, even from the king of animals. And she said, that's why I put a baby on my back, to prove that I had faith and I wouldn't be harmed. How's that?
That is amazing.
How is that? The most extraordinary woman I could ever imagine meeting. And she then became my teacher, and she taught me about the ways of the wild and the ways of the white lions, who she told me are the most angelic animals. That was her word. She said they are lions of God. That's her term. And she revered them, and she said that from that point on, it would be my task to protect them. So that's the first couple of chapters in my book, is just sharing with other people this amazing story that happened in my life. I mean, advertising seemed so artificial after that. Can you imagine? The real world, you know, is out there with the king of animals.
When you went back to South Africa, was it your intent to stay?
No, I was just there on a visit. I was just there on a visit when this incident happened, and I couldn't forget it. It was such a significant incident. of course, a while after that, when I returned, Maria Corsa is her name, the Lion Queen of Timbavati. She said to me, "Do you realize you are my successor?" And I said to her, "But how can I be your successor? I'm not even of the same tribe as you." And she said, "We are not in those times now where things are tribal." She said, "You are my star daughter, and it is your task to take over my work to protect these sacred animals." So that's really my story. That's where it all began. I didn't realize that it would involve court action, it would involve police raids, it would involve talks with Parliament, it would involve all sorts of really challenging activities to protect Africa's sacred animals.
And can you tell us why they need protection?
They need protection because they're critically endangered. In the wilds of their natural habitat, they've been hunted by trophy hunters. So that's tragic, and it's actually even worse than that. They've been removed from their natural habitat into zoos and circuses all around the globe. And in some cases, in South Africa, the worst is that they've been put into cages to be bred, to be killed in cages. I mean, this is the horrible truth of what's going on today. And if you know how beautiful these animals are, and how loving they are, and how healing they are, I know that our main theme today is health and health in nature. Well, these animals, these white lions, have the ability to heal just as dolphins heal people. They heal through love and light technology. Yeah.
Tell me more about that. That's fascinating.
Well, I've seen it at work. You know, I have now managed, this is the good news, I've managed to secure a protected area for the white lions in their ancestral pride lands where they were virtually extinct through trophy hunting activities. So I have a vast protected area of 5,500 acres. Unfortunately, on the borders are poacher-proof fencing because the white lions are so valuable and so precious that they are at risk by hunters and poachers. But on the positive side, people from around the world come to visit the lions in their natural kingdom. And some people come with ailments and sometimes cancer, very serious diseases, and their experience in the presence of the lions is such joy, literally a heart-opening experience in the presence of the king of animals, who are such radiant animals that it is a profoundly healing experience for everyone who comes.
And there are other animals with the same genetic marker, aren't there? White buffaloes, I think there are white eagles, am I right?
Well, that is such an important question. Those are known as the prophetic animals, and indigenous people around the world have been expecting the arrival of these genetic rarities. So the white buffalo of the 12 nations of Native America, and the spirit bear of British Columbia and the indigenous people of that part of the world who are called the Kitasu, and of course the reverence for the white elephant of India. Well, for Africa it is the white lion, and the white lion is the king of all animals, and is part of a prophecy that was shared with me by the priesthood of Africa. Maria Corsa, Lion Queen, was a priest of the lion tradition, and she shared this prophecy with me that the white lions are returning to earth in our time of crisis. You know, we're in a time of ecological crisis, of financial crisis, economic crisis, psychological crisis. We live in a time of crisis. And the prophecy is that the white lions will return to earth at a time of crisis to as it were, shepherd us or guide and guard us, and help us to raise our sense of selfhood, so that we can deal with the crisis. That's the prophecy. And how they do that is that they instill qualities of love, of truth, of light, peace, leadership, harmony, justice, all these qualities of the lion as the king and the queen. And they instill that in humanity. That's their purpose.
That's beautiful. In terms of their existence now, were they on the earth at another period in time and then were they extinct, or?
A very, very good question. Thank you, Sheryl. The prophecy is that they were on the earth at a time of creation. So that's the legend about them, that when God sat on his throne, he had a white lion on either side. That's how it's said in Africa, that they are the firstborn of God's creatures on earth. He's angelic creatures. So that's the story. And that, you know, in scientific terms, it seems that they were on earth in an epoch a long time ago that was Ice Age time. So they're actually snow animals. Now they've returned in our time, and we know the climate is very unstable. So it's believed that they've returned at the beginning of a great epoch and at the end of the great epoch to help us birth the new epoch that is ahead of us.
I see.
So to answer your question, they appear to be here right at the beginning of time of this epoch, and now they've come back, which indicates we're at the end and a new beginning into a new epoch.
And in terms of the work you've been doing, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this work since I committed to this in 1994, so 2 decades.
Wow. And I imagine that the work itself has changed you.
It's changed me completely. It is such challenging work, and yet it's worth every minute, because the love that I feel for these animals is more than, well, it's the same as any mother feels for her young. You know, it's unconditional.
In terms of who you are now and the healing that we've been talking about, have you experienced that?
You know, I experience that every day when I go out to them at dawn or dusk. Remember, lions are active at night, and then they go to sleep at dawn and they wake up at dusk. So they are sun creatures, and the white lions are always associated with the sun. So when I see them in the morning, the sun is rising and they're haloed by the sun. When I see them at night, and they are rising, the last sun rays are illuminating them. And truly, they are like angelic animals. They just strengthen the heart of me and the whole team that works in our project. So I work with a team of scientists. So these are tough, rational people, but they live for the lions. They go out tracking the lions, and then they come back feeling, you know, ready for anything. They might not analyze it in spiritual terms, but the lions have done their work on them anyway.
And do you have a favorite lion, or have you ever, is there one that particularly touched you?
What a question. Well, truly, the lion that changed my life was a lioness. Maria Corsa told me that although the white lions are being hunted and trophy hunted and people are killing them in the wild, and I was so distressed by this, she said, no matter what people do to try and destroy sacredness in nature, they cannot. She said, God is stronger than anything humans might do to destroy nature. So you know, get your courage back, she said to me. And then she said, a lioness is going to be born in a place of great sacred significance, a white lioness. Look out for the signs so you don't miss the signs. And shortly after she told me this, a white lioness was born in Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the year 2000. A white lioness. And when I heard about this, I informed Maria and the other African priests I worked with, and they said, that is the lioness we've been waiting for. Her name is Ma-Ra, mother of Ra, the sun god, Mara. So, of course, she was my most dearly beloved lioness. And it so happened that Bethlehem is a little town in South Africa, but it's notorious for keeping lions in cages to shoot them. This terrible, terrible malpractice known as canned lion hunting. So she had been born in this killing camp. The sacred lioness had been born in a killing camp. They'd stolen her mother and father from the wilds of Timbavati. 2 golden lions that were in Timbavati, carrying the secret code for the white lions, and they'd bred them, and this little white lion cub was born in Bethlehem. So it was a tragic story, but I made a pledge that I was going to rescue her from this place. And it took 5 years before I managed to do it. And all those things I spoke to you about, police action, court action, Parliament, appealing to Parliament, everything. It took 5 years. And I finally freed her. And at that stage, she had 3 little cubs. And I freed them into the wild. So I don't have favorites, but what can I say? She was the beginning of this work for me. Now there are 3 generations of white lions with her lineage and 3 other genetic lineages back in the wilds of their sacred lands.
So she lives on.
Well, she finally, her legacy lives on. She passed on in the wild, but 3 generations of her legacy live on.
I'd like to remind our viewers they are watching Living Healthy, and we're talking with Linda Tucker about the spiritual growth that arises from preserving nature. What do we need to learn about ourselves and our connection to nature?
We need to learn one thing, that if we disconnect with nature, we are killing ourselves. If we reconnect with nature, we are restoring, reviving ourselves. That's the key. People forget that everything is nature, our food, our oxygen, our health, our love. Without nature, we as a species have no future. And so when we remember that we are nature, we restore everything.
So being with the white lions really brings those qualities out.
Truly, and being with the king of all animals reminds you that all the kingdoms on earth are worth protecting. The white lions are the king of kings, but every single creature on earth, whoever it may be, and our domestic animals are very important because they are reminding us all the time, desperately, about unconditional love and how that is healing. So they are the way for the average person to get back into nature. Don't underestimate the role they play.
And it's been studied where you bring animals to a nursing home, for example, and it really is a healing experience for the people in that nursing home.
Absolutely, and likewise, you bring animals into high security, hardened criminals, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and the animals are the only ones that they can get through to because they let their guard down and they allow love to flow. So that's truly, that is the power of nature. And the white lions, are the apex of all creation, but any aspect of nature has healing qualities.
And I'm sure that many of our viewers, you're touching their hearts. How could they find out more, help to save the white lions?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you so much, Sheryl. Well, they can go onto my website, whitelions.org. They can buy my book, Saving the White Lions. Every purchase of my book records that someone wants to save the white lions, and that's part of our campaign to have them protected by international law. So your purchase has 2 functions, not only for you to enjoy the book, but it goes on record as as a confirmation that the public want to save the white lions.
That's wonderful. And what is your goal for this work?
Well, I look at that two ways. I know that the white lions are here to awaken humanity, to heal humanity. So therefore my role is to support the white lions in awakening and healing humanity and making sure that humanity gives back and supports the white lions and protects them, so that it's a two-way thing. It's not nature always just giving, 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 and humans always taking, taking, taking. My goal is for all of us to give something back. It's a two-way thing. It's a beautiful golden exchange, heart to heart, soul to soul.
I imagine. Do you allow anyone to come and visit and see the lions?
We do. We allow people who come in love and reverence to our project. It's not open to the general public because we don't have busloads impacting on the lions in their wilderness area. But anyone who truly feels called to meet with these amazing creatures should go onto our website, whitelions.org, and there are a number of special pilgrimages. You could call them pilgrimages. They're journeys out to our project in the heartlands of white lion ancestral territories. And you would spend time tracking the white lions with our scientific team at dawn and dusk. It's a truly life-changing experience, as we've said. I would recommend it to anyone who has a lion heart.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, I'm sure it is. Can you tell me any more about the legends or the beliefs of the tribe that live with the white lions?
The legends about the white lions is that they are star animals. They came from the stars. So the word Timbavati, the original word Simba, you can hear Simba is lion, Vati, to come from the heavens, the place where the lions came from the stars. And so the legends are that these are angelic creatures who have come to earth to protect humanity at a time of crisis. And they are also here to remind us of our own inner natures, which are soul and love. So they are known to be enlightenment bearers, bearers of light.
I'd really like to ask you what the effect of capturing these white lions has been around the world. How has that impacted each of us?
The effect of capturing these sacred animals has been that we've succumbed to consumerism. We see everything as having a price on its head, even angels, you know. And it shows how humans' value system has degraded, how badly it's degraded, because we've exchanged nature and God in nature for commodities. So the killing of white lions in cages is the end point of commodities, putting the price on the head of something and saying, because I paid for it, I can kill it. That's what's happened. So the way to combat that is to reactivate the lion heart and know that love is the greatest force. We don't have to feel disempowered by this consumer society that we're all trapped in. You know, each of us can truly make a difference, and the lions are expecting that of us. They're activating each individual, the heart of all these individuals worldwide, and expecting us to stand up and be counted, expecting us to stand up for nature and ourselves and true value, you know, what really counts.
So if someone is inspired by what they've heard today, is there anything they should, we know that they can get in touch with your website, but is there anything that they should boycott?
Yes, two things. First of all, if they go onto my website, they can sign a petition which will have the white lions protected by international law. Great thing to do. Get it out on blogs, get it out to your mailing list, and then get that petition going. We're clocking up thousands of signatures, first thing. Secondly, they can boycott. This is a hard one. Boycott places that allow you to cuddle baby cubs. Unfortunately, if you cuddle a cub, that cub cannot go back into the wild because it's regarded as a dangerous animal because it's lost its fear of humans. So in South Africa, there are all these places that allow you to go and cuddle a cub, but those are the same places that will put those cubs into a cage and shoot it later. So it's important the public know about that. Isn't that a horrible
Yes, it is.
double betrayal? First when it's a baby and then as it grows into an adult.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sorry
shocking.
to expose that, but it's important we as the public unite and be informed so we don't support the wrong places.
Right, right. And does this practice reach areas around the globe?
This practice of canned lion hunting?
Yes.
Yes, sadly, 50% of trophies coming out of Africa are American trophy hunters. I think our public in the States would be horrified by that figure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That really hits home.
So you might think, oh, well, this is just something happening in another part of the world. But if you realize that actually it's Americans who are part of the perpetrators, that really hurts, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And it really makes you want to take action to change that.
There are congressmen in the States who are taking up this issue, and they're saying maybe we should prohibit trophies from reaching our ports. So there are people who are very much aware of this issue and wanting to redress it.
Wonderful. So writing your congressman
Yes.
or congressperson would
Yes.
be a wonderful way to
That's a very,
support
very good thing to
the
do.
white lions.
So it means that each one of us in the States can make a difference. A letter like that has to be read and has to be responded to.
Well, Linda, we're out of time, but I thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you, Sheryl.
This was a wonderful experience and wonderful to learn about such beautiful, magnificent creatures.
Thank you for the opportunity.
For more information on Linda, you can visit her website at whitelions.org. Thank you for joining us today. I'm your host, Sheryl Worthington Turgeon. See you next time on Living Healthy.